Welcome to AstroEnergy with astrologer angel Shelley Overton. Hello and welcome to the AstroEnergy show for, October 7th, 2015. Are you feeling the love? Are you feeling the fall? Is it getting cooler where you are? It's getting a little bit cooler where I am, not as much as I would like. It's 84 degrees today, so that's good. Actually, that's pretty temperate. Has not rained today. It was, I think, 68 overnight, so it's getting there. The leaves are falling all over the porch, so I'm pretty happy. It's really not as hot as it was and not as humid as it was, so thumbs up to that. Anyway, my name is Shelley Overton. I am an astrologer in Orlando, Florida, and I'm very happy to have you here today. We are going to cover a little bit of territory. If you would like to get a reading from me, please do call in at 347-994-3365. Once you're in, just press 1, which will give me an indication that you want your reading. So anyway, this week we've got a lot going on. When have we not had a lot going on recently, right? Okay, so we have the moon, which the moon was in Cancer Gemini and Cancer over the weekend, and then it went into Leo yesterday, and currently the moon is at 18 degrees Leo, so he is at exactly trine to Uranus in Aries. Hang on one second, I have a little tickle. Hang on. There we go. Okay, so trining Uranus. So that's going to increase the energy of the fire signs. And, of course, Saturn's in Sagittarius, but he's just at 1 degree. So he's in really, really early energy of a fire sign in Sagittarius. The moon flew past the trine to him yesterday. And so now he's triggering Uranus in Aries, and he's making us all feel our oats, so to speak. He is increasing the energy of emotion and fire energy, so he's fired up. The moon, she's fired up. She's firing up which is Uranus in Aries. And let's see what else we have. Venus at 29. So, of course, Venus is one day away from moving into Virgo. So wrapping up a lot of that really strong desire to be romantically linked, and moon is also bringing that out. So the feminine side of us is really wanting to connect, wanting to share a story, wanting to know your story, wanting to have something more connected. So Venus, as she moves into Virgo, she will be moving into conjunction once again with Mars. And Mars is saying, we need to take action, a lot of action. And it has to be pragmatic, it has to be altruistic and selfless, and it's toward healing. So when Venus goes in, so Mars is the masculine energy, Venus is the feminine energy, and Venus represents siblings, sisters. And once she goes in Virgo, definitely that can bring out some feminine energy because Virgo is a feminine sign. And then Mars, which of course is masculine energy, is in Virgo. So that kind of, pardon me for saying so, but castrates Mars a little bit. Virgo energy is very feminine and receptive. So Mars likes to take charge. And in Virgo, it's less about being in the spotlight, which of course Mars rules Aries, but more about being of service and being in the background. So you may find yourself doing that. Also, you may find yourself wanting to hide or be alone. Neptune in Pisces is also an energy, so that's exactly opposite at 7 degrees. So Mars is opposing Neptune right now. So Neptune wants to also hide and not face the cold, hard reality of this world. Mars, now being opposite Neptune exactly at 7, is wanting to take action, but being kind of held in the orbit of Neptune, which wants things to be really emotional. But the good thing, and I think I mentioned it last week, the good thing is Neptune retrograde acts a little bit more like Virgo. It's more pragmatic, it's more clear thinking, clear-headed, and wants to put away some of the addictive tendencies. So Neptune retrograde opposing Mars in Virgo, and it's 5 degrees off of Jupiter in Virgo, is going to create this strong sense of clarity and drive to get things accomplished. And Neptune usually wants to just allow things to come to it, whereas Virgo by nature is a doer, which is rather ironic because it's a receptive energy, but a receptive doer. So you can see kind of the inner turmoil that Virgos can have. They want to do things for others, but they are also receptive, and when other people don't respond in kind, they can get their feelings hurt. Of course, Jupiter already went exactly opposite Neptune, which was the trigger to a higher understanding of things, wanting to seek out spiritual side. It's still there, and Mars is exactly there, triggering the Neptune once again, making an even stronger plea to move forward and do something about that spiritual nature, the spiritual side of your life right now. And then Venus going into Virgo will be another, and then followed the same day by Moon. So Venus and the Moon bring the desire on board. There may be, it's kind of opposite right now a little bit. Normally you have the desire, then you have the action. But in this case, Mars came in first, and actually Jupiter came in even before that, and then Mars, and then Venus, and then the Moon. So Venus is going to bring the desire to back up the action. And so you may have been dragging your feet, wanting a little more kudos about whatever it was you were taking action on or looking to move forward with. And so now Venus going into Virgo tomorrow will be on board with wanting to take some more of that clear, decisive action. The material world is one of the realms of Virgo, along with Capricorn and Taurus. So that should be really good. Coming up, and for those of you with, say, Gemini Sagittarius energy, which squares Pisces and Virgo, you'll be feeling this strong cross going on with the energy. The dynamic is going to be not considering the repercussions versus completely owning the repercussions, which is Virgo, not wanting to do anything about it versus doing something about it, and finally Gemini having a lot of ideas, talking about it, and not so much action, at odds with Virgo Mars, which wants to take material action, and Gemini wants to go here and then go there and not necessarily do something about it, but just really enjoy the conversation, enjoy the mental stimulation of it. So we have a lot of different energies, and that's not even getting into the rulership of what other things these signs rule. But definitely look for having, especially with Mercury going direct, let me see, was that Friday? Mercury goes direct on Friday finally, and he's in Libra. 1 degree, he gets almost all the way back to 0 Libra before he goes direct. And so, so that's Friday, so that's pretty busy. And then again, like I said, Moon goes in, and Moon is emotions, but run through Virgo. The Moon is going to be a little bit more crisp, a little less sympathetic, a little less inclined to want to get together socially. She enjoys private one-on-one conversations and situations, not as much getting in with groups, which is a bit ironic because my daughter has a lot of Virgo in her first house, and well, almost the whole sign of Virgo in her first house, and she's thinking of going out for majorettes, and they want her to come in tomorrow. So I'm just like, well, if she gets in there before moon goes in at 3 o'clock, that might be a good thing. But if she goes in after that, well, Virgo's pretty good with twirling a baton, I would say. So you never know. I mean, lots of groups of people there might not be as desirable, but we'll see how it goes. I'll let you know next week if she stays with majorettes and decides that's a fun thing to do. Okay, hang on one second. Stupid tickle. Anyway, okay, so Mercury in Libra, and let's see. So we're going to talk about Venus and we're going to talk about Mercury. I kind of already talked about Venus. And Mercury, of course, rules Virgo. So for a brief period of time there, and the ingress, which is the actual motion of a planet into a sign, Venus goes into Virgo on Thursday, so the ingress time is tomorrow. And so the chart for the Venus ingress is going to have Mercury retrograde, but very briefly. So it could prove another glitch on Thursday for getting your point across and being understood for what you're saying. I found that to be, as a Virgo with 3 other planets in Virgo, that's a really strong theme this past Mercury retrograde, is that people seem to not be understanding us and actually kind of taking offense at what they think we're saying. So, look to that coming, possibly tomorrow with the rulership of a retrograde Mercury over Venus and then the moon and Mars and Jupiter. So the sun is at 14 Libra, Saturn's at 1 degree Sagittarius, Pluto at 13 Capricorn, and the nodes are at 0 degrees Aries and Libra. So maybe we'll do a node show. I think I might have done one a while ago, but I might do that again next week so we can talk about them. Okay, so yeah, Mercury going direct. Mercury going direct is going to clarify, now that we've had Mercury retrograde for half of the sign of Libra, so from about 15 all the way back to 1, Mercury has been triggering our early years in our lives. The 0 through 15 are 0 through 15 in age. So now as Mercury goes direct, he's going to go forward again through those years, and we will review some of the energies we've had for the last, I would say, probably close to 5 weeks. Because before Mercury went retrograde, he was in the shadow period going from 15. When he hit 15, that's when he retrograded. So from 0 to 15 the first time, he lived out the issues. And in my life, I moved. So it wasn't exactly something I wanted to do during a Mercury retrograde, but given the timeline of everything and how it all worked out, that was just the way it was going to be. So when I moved into this house in the country, it has a well, and the house had sat without anyone in it for a little over a year. And then they made it into a little farmer's market, green grocer kind of place, which is how I found it. And then when I was looking for a place, it turned out that they had decided to rent it out again because it had already been rented to a family before it was sitting with no one in it. During that time, the water, the well water, it just kind of rusted over all the toilets and sinks and everything because I guess it wasn't being used and it wasn't working properly. So they put in a whole new system. And, well, I think it was a whole new system. Parts of it may not have been new because they had put it, well, I'll tell you the rest of that story and then I'll explain what happened. So pretty much the toilets were all rusty at the bottom, and they looked really gross. They looked like they hadn't been cleaned. It's really what they looked like. And the sinks were all kind of yellow, stained from the rust. And, you know, being the Virgo nitpicky person that I am, I really like to have things neat and clean. And, you know, like this is fresh and new and ready for me and has my energy in it. But since it wasn't, they had to clear out the pipes with some shock treatment, which in the South or in a hot place where we have pools, you know, shock is chlorine, like pure concentrated chlorine in powder form. So they put that in. So for the first week I was here, and probably 10 days, the whole place smelled like chlorine. All the pipes were chlorinated, and I couldn't use the water because it was so highly chlorinated. So I had to run the water like for hours. And so after that all flushed out, and I finally got the landlord to put in new toilets a couple weeks ago, Mercury got back to where it was when I moved in. And guess what happened? The pistons on the water cleaning system were sticking, and the water got rusty again and stained the toilets. Brand new toilets, stained, very difficult to get out. So I'm right back to where I was when I moved, when Mercury was in 1 or 2 degrees of going retrograde. So hopefully you have not gotten those kind of situations, but that's kind of an illustration of what Mercury retrograde, and then, well, the shadow period, and then the retrograde, and then the direct motion in the latter shadow period. So that's the last one where it goes 0 to 15. So we're going to have that shadow period, which again is the time frame when things finally move forward and get resolved. And that lasts all the way until the 24th of October. So for the next 2 weeks and 2 days, we will have that final wrapping up shadow period. So that's a good thing. We're going to move forward. Things are going to go well. It's interesting because when I moved into this house, it was kind of exciting for me because I've never lived in the country, but it's always been something I've been attracted to. And it's a wonderful little house. It's a renovated 50-year-old house. And so it's got hardwood floors and a cute little front porch, and actually a little one out the front door, and then a very long one about 40 feet long, or maybe 30 feet long, in front of the house. So a lot of outside living space, and it's on an acre of land with lots of trees and fruit trees. I've got pecan trees. I have orange and lemon, and I think there's a mulberry here somewhere. So it's a nice little property, and the cows have been in the pasture behind, which is another 4 acres behind the house, and I get to see the cows, and I'm probably going to be getting chickens here fairly soon. So I get to learn all about taking care of chickens. So I'm very excited, and that feeling has come back because I think for the retrograde period, it's been a little uncomfortable in that environment because it hasn't been exactly the way I need it to be with, you know, cleanliness and organized. I've had boxes everywhere, but I've been cleaning today and it's all getting in order. So I'm very happy about all that. And let's see, we've got a few callers, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to add. So if you do have questions, you can throw me a question about astrological issues in the chat room. And you can also ask me when I call on you for a reading. So if anyone wants to know more, please do that. Maybe I kind of was going to have that as last week's show where people could ask me questions about astrology, but they didn't really do that. So I probably didn't clarify as much that I was doing that. So I've been kind of throwing around the idea of having a live question and answer, or potentially just some kind of, well, no, probably like a live hangout about astrology and start doing those. I think they could be a lot of fun. So if you would like that, my Facebook fan page, which is AstroEnergy and or Astrologer Angel, and let me know. Let me know what you think about that. And yeah. So anyway, let's get to the phone lines. Okay, I've got 111. Hi, 111. Who is this?
Hi, Shelley. This is Dee. I think you have me in your files over there.
Hi, Dee. Okay.
Hi.
There. Well, let's see. No, actually, I have your daughter under 111, and I think every time you call, I thought I changed your prefix from before. I know I've taken your information a few times. What was it 207?
207, yes. And the
okay, I'm going to change that. Yeah, because you always seem to call in under 111 these days, so I'm just going to use that. That'll be easier for me.
Okay.
All righty. So what can I do for you today?
Well, my living situation is a bit up in the air. I have a house that is my mother-in-law's house. We were going to buy it off her, but she has since gone senile. And there's an issue with who has to be her family's kind of taking care of her. She has other kids. She has grandchildren involved. And I'd like to know how you see my living situation changing, or am I going to be able to stay where I am?
Okay, let's see that. I think you will stay there for a while. If you're not really, I don't see anything directly triggering a move other than Saturn in your house of home and family, just into Sagittarius. That could bring a desire to move only because Sagittarius likes to keep going. They're the wanderer of the zodiac. Yes. But, if, I guess what I want to say is, like, if you're not already moving recently, like throughout September, which is really when I would have said, with this shift, that's a very likely possibility, then you've got until it hits 20 degrees. And there will be it will hit 20 the end of this year. Let me see hang on a second. When is it? It's right around Christmas, the 20th of December. So when it hits 20, that could be a shift for you. So it's still a few months away, but not long after it gets in, I think. Let me see. No, it doesn't. How does it get that far? That amazes me. Oh, I'm in the wrong year. That's why. Hang on a second. Okay. I'm sorry. I went ahead in time. So, it's going to be all the way December of next year that Saturn gets to 20. I was going to say that seemed really quick. Just 15 months. So if you are able to stand your ground and not want to move out of wanderlust, I think it won't hit until the end of next year.
I do want to move out of wanderlust. I just can't afford it right now.
Yeah. Well, Mars is probably also going to trigger some of that too. Mars hits you, goes into Sagittarius at the beginning of March. So that's, that could do something right there. I mean, only because you could get to the point with Mars conjunct Saturn where it's like, I don't care what the situation is, I have to get out of here.
I feel like that a lot.
Yeah.
I do feel like that anyway.
That's going to be, I honestly would be surprised if you could fight that one. Because Saturn's pretty strong in and of himself, but then add Mars to it, and it's pretty much like, nope, now you need to take ownership of these feelings. And so, and also the other thing is Sagittarius is a strong indicator of property sale, real estate transactions. So, I'm guessing by, what did I say, the end of December? Or November?
Yes, December.
Oh no, hang on. No, Mars gets there March. So in March.
Okay.
When Mars gets conjunct to Saturn, actually by March Saturn will be a little bit farther. So, hang on, let me see. I'm just trying to read it. 16. See Saturn at 16. Then he retrogrades. That really amazes me, how fast he can get there. So they're not going to exactly conjunct. So my guess is. They won't be conjuncting at that point. So what happens is Mars goes into Sagittarius and gets to 8 degrees in April, but by the 24th, Saturn is at 16 and retrogrades, and then on the 16th of April, Mars retrogrades. So they aren't going to meet, honestly. So it's going to be a back and forth. And this is what astrology does. Every planet is kind of a representation of energy and people in your life. And so as Mars comes in, there may be a man coming in or a sibling saying, no, I really need this. We need to sell this. We just need to get done with this, blah, 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 blah. A masculine energy. Yeah. And then it gets to March, April, and then suddenly Saturn retrogrades and everybody gets cold feet, or you decide you're not quite ready for it and they don't quite touch. So Saturn is the authority figure. Saturn may be the real estate agent. It could be your husband. It could be the head of the family. Something's going to happen in that timeline, and then Saturn will be retrograde through August of next year, and Mars will have retrograded back into Scorpio for a while. So that's going to bring up a lot, especially down there in your home and family. There's going to be a lot of emotion, deep family emotions going on over next summer, probably about the sale of the house and what's going on with it. And then by August, Mars goes back into Sagittarius, and then so he gets out of his shadow period the third week in August, and that's the point where literally he conjuncts on the 24th of August. I would write that down because as far as I'm concerned, Mars conjunct Saturn in August of next year is probably going to be when it's going to all go down.
You see, it's too unstable for me. I would like to own my own home, but I can't, it's not, I can't at this point. The finances won't allow it, and I can't stand this back and forth.
Well, as far as finances are in your chart, Mars and Jupiter will be moving into your money house. And so it's going to be making you much more pragmatic about money. I mean, not that it didn't already, not that you weren't, but Mars will be going into Libra, which will be taking action around money. And Mars in Libra is going to be good for you because Libra its ruler is Venus. Venus rules money and desire. And then when Mars goes in, it's like, okay, let's do this. And you want to partner with somebody to make money. And so that's going to come in for you. And also when it gets into your house and money, there could be work coming in or something that generates income. And you've got it on top of Mercury, so there might be some kind of teaching job or some teaching opportunity for you coming in.
Okay.
Or health.
I don't want to deal with this anymore,
Well, let me tell you that supermoon is kind of clearing out that kind of like, it's bringing us to the point where we're all kind of just saying, I've had enough. And because supermoon in Aries is the initiator energy, the new energy coming in. It's not surprising. I know so many people, like everybody I talk to, there's some area of their life that they're like, I can't take it anymore. I'm done with this. It's like the emotion, the intensity, the drama. I'm so over it. And you know what? That's when it changes. Because when you won't do the same behaviors anymore, you don't react to it the same, it shifts because you've shifted. It's cause and effect. Yeah. Okay?
Okay.
So
I want to say,
oh, yeah, go ahead.
I called you about last spring about my health with my thyroid and the doctor with the nodules and everything. I went to another doctor who said there was never on my chart, that never happened. And the doctor who told me I had all this problem, she has since left.
Wow. Wow.
She left the area.
That's interesting. Wow. Well, so how are you feeling?
I'm fine. I have other problems with my hips and arthritis, but there was never any nodules on my thyroid. There was never anything on the report to begin with.
That's really interesting. Well, I don't know if I told you this before, but I definitely stand by it because I've had arthritic thumbs and knees, and I had to stop doing murals because my thumb was in such pain. It was swollen. And my knees, I had to stop doing yoga for a while because my knees would hurt doing yoga. And I had a friend tell me that she had arthritic hands, and then she gave up gluten, and because the gluten was an inflammatory, or it was inflaming her joints. And she said after she did that, they felt so much better. So I really cut back on the gluten that I eat, and it has helped tremendously. Like I'll have certain days when I know I had the gluten and I will feel more pain, but when I avoid it, I don't have any of the issues I had. So you might want to look into that.
Well, I've already given up breads and spaghettis, and why not,
Well, gluten they put that stuff in everything. They put it, like, I know all these French fries that they have at fast food places, they'll put like starches on them and stuff, and they put some type of wheat byproduct in a lot of food. So you really have to be diligent. I'm just letting you know that. But if it can help you, that's why I'm telling you.
I'll give it a try. Why not? Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, look into it because I found it to be really helpful. Okay?
Okay.
Thanks for the call.
Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye, Dee.
Bye-bye.
Okay, let's see, 5:30. I am going to take a quickie break, and I always seem to only get to one caller before the break, but we're going to take lots of callers after the break. So if you want to call in, I'm going to give the number again, 347-994-3365, and we can take some calls after the break. So let's take a quickie.
Jupiter conspire to get me. I think you and the moon and Neptune got it right. I think you and the moon and Neptune got it right. 'Cause now I'm shining bright.
And we're back. This is Shelley Overton, and you're listening to the AstroEnergy Show on Blog Talk Radio. So if you would like to get a reading from me, please go check out astrologerangel.com. I got the October horoscopes up, or as I call them, astroscopes, this week. So they're there if you want to check them out. And please do sign up for the newsletter, and then you'll get them every month in your inbox. So anyway, also, if you get a chance, go on to iTunes, where you can get my show every week, and give me a review so that people know I'm here, and kind of raises me up the ladder so people can find me. And I would really appreciate that. Okay, so let's see. Let's go with 954. Hi, 954.
Hi, Shelley.
Who's this?
It's Pam. I think you have my information.
I do. What can I do for you today, Pam?
First, I want to congratulate you for finding a great place to live.
Aw, that's sweet. Thanks.
And, well, my situation, I've been having a real struggle with my finances. I wanted to move, but it's not possible. And I'm struggling with where I'm at now, wondering if I should downsize within the community I'm in. Also, my health has been really pretty rough lately, so I just wanted to see around those issues.
Okay, well, I can tell you a lot of those issues are all kind of right around in the house area of your chart, because you've got Virgo and Libra down there, and that means that Mars and Jupiter in your house of home and family, and Mercury, the North Node, and the Sun. Natally, you have Chiron, which of course is the wounded healer, which is pretty much the hardest wounding of your life, you know, the one thing that has hurt your heart the most. And so being that it's in Virgo, it could be communications, it could be, you know, your ability to be recognized within the family unit as having value. You may have like a bit of a doormat syndrome within the family, and Jupiter expands whatever it touches. And so now, of course, it's in your house of home and family, 3 degrees off of that point in your chart. So as Jupiter approaches it, it's going to increase whatever's associated with it. And health is the domain of Virgo. And also the intestines, digestion, you know, any stomach issues, that's Virgo. And also nervous energy, worry, things like that. So, you know, when you're looking at these energies, they're all crossing over your Chiron. So you've got Jupiter within 3 degrees, Mars is within 8, Venus is about to go into Virgo, and like I said, the moon will be there, you know, in the next couple days. She'll be going over that point too. So let me just look at when it is for you. So Mars gets there around the 19th. So what I'm looking at is 15 degrees Chiron. So it's kind of like the biggest wounding you have, and all these energies are really just stirring the pot with that. And I want to tell you, if you're experiencing health issues, of course, I'm not a doctor, but looking at your chart, I would say that the wounding, the Chiron and Virgo down in home and family, some of the issues I mentioned could be at the heart of what's going on. Like, because, I mean, I definitely believe that our bodies are a reflection of our belief system, and that we manifest in our body after we have not paid attention to other notifications that something's not right. And it could be anything from eating a certain way to someone saying something to you that you didn't stick up, you know, for your own beliefs against, things like that. But all these things in your life start to fester and fester and fester. And if you don't pay attention to the pattern will start to give you clues. And if you don't pay attention to the clues, they're going to get stronger and stronger until it finally erupts in a physical ailment. Okay? And looking at
around it, it doesn't seem like they can come to any definite conclusion.
Okay, what area are you being affected by?
There is lower intestinal problems.
Yeah. Okay. Definitely Venus going into Virgo, coupling with Martian energy and Mars right on Jupiter. Jupiter is a planet of fortune, and you know it's moving direct. It had been retrograde, of course. Everything's been retrograde this year, but Jupiter was retrograde until April, and now fortunately it's going direct, which means seeking out understanding. It seeks out higher understanding. So having Jupiter, and I'm getting chills with this, having Jupiter on your Chiron, that's a really beneficial thing for you. On top of the fact that the North Node is also down there, and it's in Libra, which means partnering, and that's also a fortunate energy. And then you have Mars, which is taking action on what Jupiter has found, and then Venus I mean, both Mars and Venus can mean people coming into your life to help you, especially Mars going in can be taking action, again, with doctors or whatever. But Venus moving in there, and then the moon all there this week, I think it's definitely a time of breakthrough for you.
I hope
I think
so.
that
I have a doctor appointment tomorrow.
And, again, Mercury going direct, that's the ruler. I mean, for a day or two, for probably, let me see, Mercury goes direct on, I just posted this, at 10:47 a.m. on Friday, Eastern time. And Venus gets into Virgo the day before around 1, I believe, Eastern. And then Moon gets there about 4, so 3 hours later. So what happens is all those energies are aligning with the health and healing energies, okay? So you have the Moon, you have emotions wrapped around this healing thing. You have Venus, which is the desire. You have Mars, which is taking the action. You have Jupiter, which is the expansion of understanding, all coming up on your Chiron. So, I mean, it's really like you are being called to put these issues to bed and to resolve them once and for all. And I would say out of any time you've called me, this is probably the most fortuitous time to find it out, on top of the fact that Jupiter, which is in Virgo, Saturn now answers to that because Jupiter rules Sagittarius, which is where Saturn is at. And that's in the 6th house in your chart, which is health and healing. So Sagittarius is in health and healing. Saturn is there creating the structure of it. And again, ruled by Jupiter, which is down there on your Chiron. So it's really like you're going to get to a point where you're going to say, wow, I can't believe I was able to change the situation. And so grateful, honestly, for the situation, because now I rid myself of all this extra baggage that I was holding in my body. Okay? And I do think that the energies are going to support you. And then Mercury direct, again, because Mercury direct means communication, information with a partner, and it's to put the cherry on top of the cake, it's 3 degrees off of your Neptune, which is an ideal situation. So I do think, I do think that you're going to get some resolution with this. So
what about the financial situation? Is there ever going to be any improvement, or I'm going to?
Oh, heck yeah. Yeah, we're not there forever. Mars in Libra also will help you, because Mars going into Libra will hit your Neptune, which is creating someone's going to come in. There's like a partner coming in for you, or a spousal situation that I don't know if you're married or not.
No,
but
I don't have a partner at this time. I
actually
did a friend short time for a roommate situation just for the money, but it didn't go well. It went against me actually, and I probably shouldn't have done it to begin with, but that didn't help me.
Okay. Well, what's going to happen is there's going to be somebody, and I'm guessing probably a family member, can come in and help you out. And honestly, the sun just went past Neptune, and now Mercury, when it goes direct, is going to be right next to Neptune, followed by Mars. Let me see when Mars gets there for you. It's going to be in November, I believe, at 4 degrees. So that'll be really good. The 19th of November, which is right when the sun goes into Sagittarius too, 22nd. So that's another thing. Sun in Sagittarius, and then he conjunct Saturn. So I think everything's starting to align for you. And I think that, I'm saying specifically to you, but a lot of people now, this energy coming up in the end of the year is really kind of a watershed moment with the Virgo Libra stuff, with all the health and the relationship issues. And for you specifically, it's in your home and family. And then health, because Saturn just went into your health house. You're going to have to take the situation and own it. I mean, that's what Saturn does, is it makes us responsible. So it's showing you where you need to take ownership of it. And quite honestly, I say a lot of these archetypes, frequently, one, it helps people learn astrology, but two, it simplifies it too, to give you the gist of what I'm saying. But Saturn in Sagittarius is about the need to move and be free to learn and grow, especially grow higher understanding. And so there's something that Saturn in the house of work and health is asking you to do. And I'm guessing that it would be beneficial for you to look for a job in another place. And you have Saturn in Gemini natally, which you have a natural wander energy.
I'm not working, but I'm questioning whether I should try to downsize within in the complex I'm in, take a smaller place. But I didn't know whether I'd be saving that much, and is it worth my effort, to go through all that, or should I wait?
Right. Well, I can't address that because I've got other callers waiting, and, I know money's tight, but, I do mini readings for like $65, so, and single question readings too.
Improvement, though.
Pardon me?
You do see an improvement coming soon.
Yes, I definitely see Jupiter, Mars, Venus, all in Virgo. That it's basically what's going on is that you're having to look at what is truly going on in your emotional life and your belief system, because that's where the key lies. And family members will step up and help, I think, if you ask. And that definitely Mars on your Neptune is going to help.
Actually, that would surprise me because
well, you might be surprised then.
the reason I'm saying that is they all have some serious issues going on right now with their health.
Okay, well, all this energy will shift for many people. Nothing stays static, and that includes family as well. They're not immune to the shift in energy. Nobody is.
Right.
So I'm sure that things can shift and change for family as well. So you know what? Don't discount things, and just because you don't see it doesn't mean it isn't there.
Okay. Well, that's good
all right,
to hear.
Pam.
I want to see them improve as well. Okay,
yes.
Thank you so much
I look
for
forward
the
to
reading.
it.
That was great.
You're welcome. Good talking to you.
Enjoy
Bye.
your new home. Okay.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Okay, bye. All right, let's see. We have 615. Hi, 615. Who is this?
Hi, this is Stephanie.
Hey, Stephanie. Have you called before? Oh, I see you.
Yeah, it's been a while.
February 7th?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. I've got you right here. Okay, so what can I do for you today?
Well, I just want to kind of see if anything's coming up for me within, first month, for another month or two.
Sorry there, I just had to clear my throat, so I muted my mic. Okay, in the next month or two, yes. So what's going on for you is I'm just going to kind of hang out with the main themes that we've been talking about today. And for you, that's Jupiter-Mars conjunction in your house of higher spirituality, understanding, and education. And so that means that, of course, you're kind of buckling down and getting things wrapped up. I don't know if you've been doing something with education or, adult learning or anything like that, or even teaching. You could be also teaching. And I don't know, again, I don't remember details necessarily about what you've told me in the past because I have a lot of people I talk to. But Saturn, you have Saturn at 27 Leo. So you need it's retrograde, so that may mean you need more of the Aquarian energy and more stimulation. But, Saturn in Leo in and of itself can also mean that you connect and resonate to children. And there's some very strong, this week, Venus has been right on your Saturn. So it's kind of like, again, the culmination of the energy that you've felt over the summer about expansion of creativity and education. I don't know if you've gone back to school for anything, but I would recommend it if you haven't, because what is that?
No, I haven't. Mm-hmm.
You have not?
No, no, ma'am.
Okay. Well, all this energy, again, it's health and work. And so if you were to take some kind of course or seek out information, again, it doesn't necessarily have to be going to an institute of higher education. It could even be expanding your spiritual understanding, finding a new church, meeting up with a group of people that share similar interests that can help Like for a little while, I went to an Abraham, the Esther Hicks Abraham Law of Attraction meetup group. So it could be something like that. So that's something that I really strongly see, with all the energy from Jupiter, Mars, Venus, and Moon, briefly Moon, but, Venus, Mars, and Jupiter are all in Virgo coming up for a while, for at least a couple months of Venus and Mars. And then Mars goes into Libra, I think I said like the 16th of November. And then that'll trigger your career and your midheaven and partnering with someone. And I would strongly recommend or strongly encourage you to get in touch with what you're feeling right now around relationships and partnering, because there is definitely major change shifts coming to that area of your life around career. So you're looking to make a change around it could be many things. It could be you have to help other people. It's just in your nature, and you decide that now's the time to finally pursue what you want to do, like join the Peace Corps. It could be something as profound as that. You've also got Mercury on your midheaven, so you're thinking about how can I connect to other people. Of course, it was retrograde for 3 weeks. So again, what's your theme? Where did it come out? It's your career house. It's authorities. Are you owning your own desires to do something for people? And, what are you doing towards that? Like, how are you connecting to others? Really strong in your chart, like Saturn in Leo, Pluto in Libra. You have Uranus in its own house, in the 11th house. So for you definitely have a deep need to connect to other people. And you have 4 planets in Aquarius. So, real strong social worker energy for you, or humanitarian energy. Where do you want to put it? What's coming up more quickly is really the faster moving planets, because they're the ones that are going to shift and change more quickly. That's education and career. So you may be, it's also healing. Healing arts, Jupiter and Mars. It could also be pastoring, preaching, teaching spiritual subjects, anything like that. And healing, spiritual healing, physical healing, nursing, anything in that realm. Do you have any interest in any of this?
I have some medical field type training. I also do radio as well as acting too. So kind of finding a thing with that. But I'm also looking to change jobs. I'm currently working mostly to pay bills and doing insurance type stuff, and that's not what I want to do. Sitting in a cubicle just isn't.
No, it's not your personality. Oh my gosh, you have Jupiter in Gemini and Neptune in Sagittarius. No, and Saturn in Leo. This is a person who's got to be out and, like free and moving and flowing and talking and connecting. Yeah, you're not, that's not your temperament. So, and you're very, very smart. Oh my gosh. You've got Mercury, Moon, Sun, and Venus in Aquarius. You're really good with money. And you have a sixth sense around money, and honestly and interestingly, that's going to be something that will, a talent that'll probably be highly utilized in coming years. So probably 2020 through 2025, when Pluto gets to Aquarius, that's going to be a huge shift for you. And it's going to be about entrepreneurship and helping people on an individual. As a matter of fact, that might be something with Pluto and Libra up in the house of career. That could also be something you could start now, is finding ways of helping others do local business, do local small micro businesses and things like that, if you're interested. So that could be a really, getting involved with micro loans or something like that. Anyway, did that help?
Yeah, absolutely. Gives me all kinds of different, avenues to look at.
Yes. So Anyway, well, I hope you have a lovely week. Saturn and Sagittarius in their 12th is continuing. I mean, again, a lot of energy in your chart saying, look to spirit, look to faith. So there's, I mean, it doesn't have to be a religious organization, or you could seek out your own version of it or whatever. But Saturn and Sagittarius in the 12th, very strong energy coming in for you around learning more about your own subconscious motivations.
Oh, okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. My pleasure. Good talking to you.
Good talking to you. Have a good day.
Thanks. You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay. 347. Hi, 347. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine.
Good. Who is this?
My name is Tanika.
Okay. Have I done your chart before?
I think probably a long time ago. I haven't spoken to you in a really long time.
Okay, let me see if I can find you here. You sound familiar. A really long time. I don't know why it seems like I've talked to you recently, but I could be mistaken. Who knows? You said, okay, spell your name for me.
Sure, it's Taneka.
Yeah, I don't see you. Okay, so let's just create another chart real quick here, and then I can do your reading. Let's see, 347. Okay, what's your birthday?
It is 9378.
Okay, and what time?
I've always heard it was on 6:30, 7:30 in the morning.
Okay, we're going to split the difference and go for 7. Okay, and where were you born?
In Kingston, Jamaica.
Okay. All right, what can I, well, let me make sure I get this chart here. Okay, looks good. So what can I do for you today?
I just would like to hear what you see coming up for me. I'm concerned about career and love and relationship too.
Okay, I have about 4 minutes, so I'll get as much of it in as I can. And then,
right.
So which is the most important? I can start there, and then we'll see what we get.
I guess just life in general, just career and love. I'd say love and relationship.
Love? Okay. Well, yeah, I see how you want love. Venus and Leo, that's in your 12th house, so it's subliminally you really need to connect. You know, Venus transiting the 12th is always what's hidden, what's your inner desires and your motivations, because the energy of Neptune is always associated with the 12th house, which is a really higher octave of Venus. It's like Venus on steroids. So when Venus goes through that house, definitely it's like, I really just want someone in my life to connect and validate me. You have Mercury and Leo as well. So Venus over that, like, you're really intuitive about relationships. And
I thought I had Venus in Libra.
I'm sorry, Venus is transiting, which means the Venus in the sky right now.
Oh.
So I'm talking about the Venus going in the sky right now, not the one in your chart.
Oh,
so
sorry.
You do have Venus in Libra, but Venus in the sky right now is in Leo, and that's in your 12th house on top of your Mercury in Leo. So, within 7 degrees, it just transited over it. So when Venus goes into Virgo, I think it's going to be really surprising to a lot of people how quickly we start to find people. And so definitely love, I think, can be coming in for you. You've got Venus approaching your Saturn. So I think that there's definitely some healing going on for you. You've got 3 planets in Virgo. And so Venus and Mars are hitting your Saturn, then your Sun. Then they both go in your first house. Jupiter's in your first house coming up on your moon. And that's expansion. So it's expansion of self. It's expansion of qualities, your own internal knowingness is going to be expanded, and I think that you're going to be moving, and you're probably going to be moving far away from where you live, because Saturn's going to hit your Neptune at the end of the year and then again next year around August. So there's some opportunities for moving in the next year, and I think that that's probably going to help you also find someone. So just keep that in mind, okay? And as far as career is concerned, you've got Saturn and Virgo. You're a healer. and you're very intuitive, and I would recommend you do something, I don't know if you have any interest, but along the lines of massage or Reiki or, any kind of healing modalities. Yoga could be good. And Neptune in Sagittarius, that's what I would suggest. Okay?
Someone that I love, do you see him coming back into my life and us getting back together, hopefully?
Hang on 1 second. I'm going to lose people who are listening live, so I want to say thank you for listening. Anyway, go ahead. There's someone coming back into your life?
No, I'm hoping that we reconnect to someone that I do still have feelings for, that I'm hoping that we actually do end up together and have, the whole thing, family, children, but I haven't heard from him. And I'm just wondering if this time.
When's the last time you heard from him?
Last summer.
Okay. Well, that's probably something that we should do a private reading about, but I do see Neptune, which is the ruler of desire, vision, your vision for your future and your greatest desire, will be going into your house of marriage and partnership. So you are going to be attracting what you see as an ideal partner. The only downfall is that tends to also be the energy of idealizing love. So just be cautious about that. But definitely I think that you have some potential coming in for love. Whether or not it's this other person is not something I can tell you in the short amount of time I have to really wrap up the show. So anyway, I think I would recommend you listen to the end of the show again when you came on and listen to what I said, because there's information you can easily not hear when you're trying to get it all taken in. So anyway, I hope that helps you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, take care. Call back if you need more information, or give me a call on Astrologer Angel. I'll do a reading for you, okay?
Okay.
All right, take care. Have a good weekend.
Okay.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thanks. Okay, that's the end of the show, and I will see you next week. Thanks for listening.